Tonight on Connecticut's news station, bundle up, find those gloves and a hat, get out those blankets. The temperature is falling. And meteorologist Ryan Breton will tell us how low it's going to go tonight.
Two of Gaza's largest hospitals shutting down. The health ministry claiming they've become a war zone. I'm Trey Yingst along the Israel-Gaza border. I've got the details coming up.
Fired at Virginia State University, critically injuring an officer. The 25th shooting on a college campus so far this year.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Carmen Chow. We begin with the weather watch tonight. Temperatures are quickly dropping out there, and tomorrow morning you might need that ice scraper. Here's a look at shoppers taking a stroll at Evergreen Walk in South Windsor earlier today. The good news, there wasn't any rain, but as you can see, everyone bundled up because it sure was chilly. Let's get a first check of the forecast with meteorologist Ryan Breton. Ryan, how cold is it going to get?
Carmen, the very coldest towns may drop to 18 or 19 by tomorrow morning. So you probably need an extra minute or two to scrape off the ice on the windshield or at least warm up the car. I look at most of the state dropping into the 20s, but the very coldest spots may dip even a bit below that first thing in the morning. Here are the numbers right now at 10 o'clock. 27 in Willimantic, down to 26 degrees in Meriden, 30 degrees right now in Hartford. We do have a clear sky overhead, and the sky remains clear tonight, but this system coming in from the west will start spreading some clouds in tomorrow afternoon. So these are the overnight low temperatures tonight. 20 degrees in Willimantic, 23 in Meriden, 29 on the shoreline in New Haven. A cold, clear start to the morning. Some clouds coming in during the afternoon. Temperatures only warming into the mid-40s tomorrow. A little bit higher than today, but still a cool feel to the air, and there may be a shower or two coming in tomorrow evening, but the daytime hours will be dry. We'll talk about how long the chill sticks around when I see you in just a little while.
Ryan, thank you. Download our free Fox 61 weather app right from your TV screen onto your phone with the QR code you see there. That way you can track temperatures all season long and get all the forecast information you need anytime on the app and at fox61.com. Now to Hartford, where 9 families are now without a home after a fire broke out at their apartment on Sherman Street shortly before 4 a.m. Fire crews tackled flames on the 3rd floor, which specifically was contained to the closet area. The fire was quickly put under control. One man was checked on the scene for possible smoke inhalation, but he was not transported. The American Red Cross is working with the families without a home, which is 15 adults and 5 children. And New Haven police are investigating a stabbing that sent a man to the hospital. It happened in the area of Crown Street around 12:45 a.m. on Saturday. Police tell us a man was stabbed in his arm and torso as he was walking out of a nightclub as a large group of people rushed to leave. He told officers he does not know who stabbed him or exactly where it happened. Fortunately, his injuries are non-life-threatening. Police are looking for witnesses and surveillance footage, which may provide some answers. If you or someone you know was trying to drive north on Interstate 91 through Meriden today, it was a mess. A crash involving several vehicles happened around 1:30 this afternoon at the entrance ramp of exit 19. There were injuries, but state police report none were serious. Here's a look at traffic backed up for about 90 minutes today, as seen from a state traffic camera. Cars and tractor trailers sitting for miles as state police investigated the crash. And here's a live look from a state traffic camera right now. The highway reopened just before 3 p.m. and all clear sailing tonight. Also in Meriden today, a driver drove into a house on Broad Street. This was around 4 a.m. Fortunately, no one inside the home was hurt. We're waiting to hear how the driver is doing after being taken to a hospital for injuries. The latest news from Gaza tonight is that Israel forces are closing in on a hospital where there are competing claims. Israel says Hamas is using it as a human shield for its terrorists. Palestinians say their sick and injured patients are dying because of Israel's war. Today, an Israel Republican candidate for President Chris Christie toured a kibbutz that had been attacked by Hamas on October 7th. The former New Jersey governor vowed the U.S. will stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel. Israel. Meanwhile, more than 100,000 people marched against anti-Semitism that has arisen since the war between Israel and Hamas started. We'll have more about that protest at 10:30. First, let's get the latest from Trey Yingst at Israel's border with Gaza.
Two of Gaza's largest hospitals shutting down operations on Sunday, claiming that constant Israeli bombardment in the area and a lack of fuel and supplies has made it impossible for them to keep running. The news means they cannot accept new patients and cannot provide some critical life-saving care, including support for premature babies in the NICU. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claims Israel has offered aid, but it was refused, and accused Hamas of deliberately driving up the death toll.
Every civilian death, every dead baby is a tragedy. But that tragedy should be placed squarely at the responsibility of Hamas, that is keeping its military installations inside hospitals, its command posts inside hospitals, inside schools, inside UNRWA, UN facilities, and so on.
This as Israeli airstrikes continue to pound Gaza, and thousands flee to the southern part of the Strip. Arab leaders gathered in Saudi Arabia this weekend to call for an immediate ceasefire in the war, something Israel says it will not agree to until Hamas releases all of the nearly 240 hostages in its custody. The U.S. remains one of just a handful of countries siding with Israel in rejecting calls for a ceasefire. Republican candidate Chris Christie visited an Israeli community on Sunday and reiterated American support for its ally.
America has no greater friend in the world than Israel. And we need to make sure that we refresh that friendship at times of peril like this.
Israel says it will help to evacuate babies from the Al-Shifa hospital through a humanitarian corridor along the Israel-Gaza border. Trey Yingst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
The latest grim numbers from the region: more than 1,400 Israelis killed by Hamas on October 7th. Since then, more than 11,000 Palestinians have died, according to their health ministry. And Hamas is still holding an estimated 239 hostages, including about 10 Americans. As the war between Israel and Gaza continues to play out, Connecticut's news station remains committed to tracking the latest in the Middle East and the impact it's having here at home. Download the free Fox 61 News app for those updates, and keep up with us on air and online at fox61.com. House Republicans say they'll vote Tuesday on a plan to keep the government running, a two-stage plan that does not include any additional funding for Israel, for Ukraine, or for the border with Mexico. Speaker Mike Johnson unveiled the two-part plan last night on a GOP conference call. Part one would extend funding at current levels for military construction, Veterans Affairs, transportation, housing, and the Energy Department until January 19th. The second part would extend funding for everything else until February 2nd, which is Groundhog Day. Fellow Republicans have questioned the new speaker's ability to get this done.
Honeymoon might be shorter than we thought, and every time the CR expires, the speaker's putting his head in the lion's mouth.
Another thing Speaker Johnson's plan is missing: deep spending cuts that conservatives have called for. Right now in Chesterfield County, Virginia, police are searching for a gunman who shot and critically injured a campus police officer near Virginia State University early this morning. The officer is a 5-year veteran of the VSU force. Police are describing his injuries as life-threatening. Authorities say around 1:30 a.m. he responded to a disturbance on campus. Shots were fired and a suspect ran off. This was the 25th shooting on an American college campus this year. Closer to home, the Yukon Store's campus was host to more than 700 runners in the new Husky Run and Ruck Salute to Service, a Veterans Day race to honor those who have served. The race runs through campus and the rural Mansfield Stores area, with 10K runners tackling the infamous Bull Mill Road. The challenging Bull Mill Loop was in honor of Kyle Milliken, a Navy SEAL and Yukon track and field athlete who was killed in action. We spoke to a runner who participated in today's race on what inspired him to hit the pavement.
It's great. All these local 5K events are always great. I always like to support, Yukon, our veterans, of course, the police force, and it's great to get out here and support causes like that.
All courses passed by the Ultimate Sacrifice Memorial on the Great Lawn, where there was also an honor ceremony.